So, let's talk about rencamo, shall we? Am I saying it right? Heck me up, VOD Daddy. Love it. Okay. How long have you been streaming? Rencamo says, 2008, back during Justin.tv days, took a fairly long break, but now I'm back. Please describe your channel. What kind of content do you produce? Mostly Dead by Daylight, but I've been branching off into Phasmophobia, Left 4 Dead 2, and Among Us. Nice. We have another Dead by Daylight player. Their streaming schedule is 9 p.m. Pacific every day. I hope you're taking breaks. Don't go every day if you don't have to. Freddie Main. What would you like to gather review? Suggestions on ways to improve, ideas for higher viewer outreach, and just general commentary. rencamo. That's great. Don't get burnt out. Do you have any specific questions you like answered? Ways to increase viewer retention and reach. So this is actually the same thing that Burnt Toast said when it comes to specific questions. Viewer retention begins with engagement. So we kind of touched on that. Reach is a number of things, but we can talk about that in a bit. All right. So let's do a quick look at the channel design. What we've got is actually, let's look for a trailer. No trailer. Do a 60-second trailer introducing yourself, saying who you are, what you're about, what to expect, maybe some clips. Burnt Toast had some cool highlights in his. And then when they can catch you live, super short, super sweet, doesn't have to be anything fancy. I actually need to re-record mine. I have mine in my uploads, but I need to replace it. So, get a trailer. That helps people who come to your channel, especially when you're offline. And in some cases, I've actually seen it play while people are live, actually. It was really weird. I wonder if it was a test. On occasion, when I've gone to new channels, the channel trailer plays in the upper right corner. Kind of like an ad. Because it kind of is an ad. It's an ad for your channel. And then you can choose to like dismiss it and watch the live stream, or you can let it continue. So that's been my experience. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Let's see. Profile picture. This looks good. You have some kind of avatar that represents you, so that's excellent. The banner. So here's the thing about the banner. And I've talked about this a couple times before. When you're looking at it on a PC browser, the video carousel will block anything in the center. Now, if you're looking at this on mobile, it's actually pretty clean. You get to see most of the banner, but it's really tiny. So in response to that, because you can't predict how they're going to look at this, what I generally recommend is an image offset to the left, whether it's your logo. Mine's my face. It's easily my best feature. Just kidding. Mine's my face, and then I have open space on the right, but I'm thinking about what I would do is maybe putting my logo on the right side, or something that is center that I do know will be blocked by the video carousel, or small enough where you wouldn't see it under the video carousel, but if you're a mobile user you would see it, and it could be like my logo or something like that. Your sister made it? That's awesome. That's really cool. They did a great job. Take a quick look at this page. It looks like you are indeed variety. I see Call of Duty, I see Thief, I see Grand Theft Auto, Hades, and Dead by Daylight, which is excellent. Meredith, this is the bestest. Good. There's recent broadcasts that tells me you've been streaming, which is excellent. And then, of course, optional but always nice to see is seeing these different kinds of streamers that are featured here. You can update this. All I would say is just make sure it's up to date with people that you want to present first and foremost on your channel, because I think people forget about that. People forget about that. So, looks good. Let's look at your about really quickly. Cool. So, about rencamo, video games, social justice, dating monsters. I like it. It's short. However, I would say this is an opportune time to give people, and like I said about burnt toasts, this is an opportune time to tell people what else to expect on your stream. But I get it. I know some people like to do very, very quick descriptions right here. Nothing wrong with that, but you know, think of it as an opportunity to tell people more right here. I see that you have a Twitter right here. Okay, cool. I'm peeping your Twitter really quick. Is this... Oh, it's the boys meme for Hades. Amazing. I shouldn't be surprised. I feel like they do it for everything now. This looks good. It's your timeline's populated with retweets and tweets and interesting things. This is good. So it's just not a going live. I do see some going lives, which is fine. What I would recommend, like I've said earlier, ensure that maybe sometimes you use... This is okay once in a while, but I would almost certainly use different images here, whether, you know, it's a picture of you or it's a screenshot of the game or something. Engagement goes up if we're talking about you know, reaching new people. If you somehow show up on their Twitter timeline, you want something interesting that stands out here. You only use Twitter and Discord. You don't want to add for sure. I get that. No worries. No worries there. But yeah, think about adding some different images when you use going live tweets, if that's what you're looking to do. All right. Your Twitter looks good though, overall. So this is an interesting take on the panels, which I think is kind of neat. I like that, you know, you don't see panels this big, which is kind of nice. If you guys aren't familiar with it, actually the only restriction is the width. Like it scales it down to, I believe, 300. Gosh, what is it? 300 some pixels. I'd have to look at the details, but it restricts it by width. And this is a neat usage of it if you know that there are not other things that you're putting on here. This makes it look clean. What I would consider doing... Is it 319? Thank you, Benny Fitz. I was like, it's I want to say 320. Thank you, Benny Fitz. There it is. It's 320. 319. Sorry. That's the only real restriction. It scales it down to that. So this is kind of a neat usage of it. I would consider making a text heading that says about, just to give it context. People generally look at panels to find something specific. It is nice that you have these images. You can be like, oh, that's the schedule, that's the Discord, that's the, you know, this is likely an about. This is the heart section. But people also look for words. So if you put like a quick about above this, or a Discord, or, you know, schedule, that might help it a little bit. Otherwise, that looks good. Schedule. Actually, let me read the schedule on your about panel. You'll be playing almost the worst games you've played. 320 by 320. There it is. Yeah. Okay, cool. There is a height restriction. Yeah, looks like there is. So I clicked on your schedule. It looks like you have a regular. This matches what you told me in your schedule, 9 p.m. Pacific every day. So that's good. Just be sure to maintain that if it ever changes. No benefits, you're fine, dude. It's helpful. I was gonna say that I'd have to look it up. My memory was telling me it's at least 320, but I didn't want to say that for sure. I try not to give values that I'm not sure about. So thank you. Videos, recent broadcasts, recent highlights and uploads, popular clips. All videos looks good. Looks pretty standard to me. Again, I mentioned this earlier. If you have a grouping of content that you want people to see, be sure to make a collection. Be sure to make a collection. Umbra, hey, things get hairy when Benny's around. He's a monster. Let me turn that down. Boom. Okay, so hey, Umbra, welcome. So that looks good. I think. Let me see. I'm just peeping the chat here. Cool. You've got emotes. You're doing channel points. Awesome. Okay, let's take a look at VODs. Most recent VOD would be Paradise launches this one 2 days ago. So we got Dead by Daylight, we've got a Hades run in another, we've got some GTA. Cool. I'm going to pick the most recent one. I see that your streams are roughly... They vary. 1.5 to 2 hours to 3 hours, hour 40. 1.5 kind of looks like the average, maybe 2. Actually 2. Roughly 2 hours. Not bad. I do roughly 2 hours for the morning streams. I try to go for 3 in the evening. I think length of time is what you like. You make the best of it because everyone's schedules are different. Certainly schedule, try to schedule 2 to 3 hours is probably a good length for most people. So I got stream loading. We're going to pull up the VOD and take a look at this. Music is low. Don't be afraid to have the music going at a reasonable volume during this startup screen. I appreciate the stream loading animation. And like I said about burnt toast, you may want to consider even, I know this is really clean and it looks awesome, but maybe put a countdown somewhere. Or, make this a real loading bar. I used to have a loading bar on my streams with a timer on top of it. So people know what to expect, right? Again, this is about, like, if we're to talk about retention or keeping people in your stream, I'm sure your regulars or people who know you or people who intentionally come to your channel would be willing to wait through this, but most people, if they browse upon this or they click a link and they get here or they get a recommended, like, hey, you'll like this person, some people, I'm not saying all, but some people will see this and maybe they'll wait for a little bit and they'll be like, I don't know if I want to wait for this anymore. Like, I don't know if I want to wait for this anymore. I recommend targeting 2 to 3 minutes for this screen so people don't have to wait too long. And what that means is have your stuff together before you hit live. I think that's the first time I've explicitly said that. And this is not me calling you out. This is me just being plain about it, saying, some of us use this time to get ready. I used to do that. Make sure you're just ready when you sit down to hit live and take those 2 to 3 minutes to kind of get into the mindset that you're looking to get into for your stream. So we're approaching 241. I'm gonna skip to about 4. Okay, we're still going. We're still loading. I see that you do go live at right around 5, so that's pretty good.
But like, I just passed out.
Try to go for 3, and let me know how it goes. Volume's a little low overall. I'm gonna try and raise it a little bit.
Hello, good morning, evening. I'm rencamo, and hello. that's the...
What an intro. Benefit says, more. This isn't design related, but something I've started doing is going live 10 minutes before schedule. I have a 10-minute loader, so those that are going to show up on notification will be there. I don't notify social media until about a minute to live. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, well, my thoughts on that are, I think it's really good. The timer always helps. I think I think most people, and I mean, I have no data, right? I have no real data to share here, but I imagine the bounce rate for people who have timers longer than 5 minutes, this is for people who don't know you. I feel like it's hard to predict. It's really hard to predict. That's why I kind of err on the side of shorter, but the timer does help. The timer certainly helps. So I guess my feedback would be, you're apt to maybe lose new people who happen to click on your stream. If they see a 10-minute wait time, because some people, if they click on that and they're like, oh man, it's 9.5 minutes, a couple things are going to happen there. Either they're going to go and get stuff done and get ready to like hang out, or they'll just click to another stream. Again, this is particularly, and I'm just calling out people who are pretty, new to your channel. Regulars, community members, people who show up intentionally to check you out, they're going to be willing to probably wait that time. And I think when you add a timer, that helps it. So I think it's okay. Some people will think it's too long, like post-apocalypse. So if they happen to browse at the very beginning, the thing is to know that affects a small window of people who get to your stream at a certain amount of time after you've hit live. So I would say I think you're doing it the best way you possibly could while still doing a 10-minute intro, but maybe a 5-minute intro if you want to keep it a little on the longer side and give people time to get in. I don't know. That's just my thought.
That's all I got. Brenda, why you don't sleep? I can't sleep. Like, I just passed out a little bit ago at like...
rencamo, your intro was really, it was funny. It made me laugh.
I tried to sleep, but like, I just passed out. And when I tried to go back to sleep, my body was like, no, you're awake now.
So do you generally not stream with a webcam? Oh yeah, no, Benny, I totally understand. Like, your content's different. I totally get it. I think given what you're doing, that's the best you could do. So do you, rencamo, you generally not? Okay, no worries. I think that there is a lot of room for streamers who don't use webcams. I've done it for extended periods of time. I've done streams without it. I do think that there's slightly more for a streamer to do to win over, I think, an audience who wants to get to know you as a person or gets to know you as a streamer. I don't think cameras are necessary. This is kind of counterpoint to what some stream experts or some stream coaches would say, but you know, there are examples of people who don't use webcams that do a fantastic job. It's all good, Benny. You're fine. It's very difficult to kind of make that connection. But, you know, the great thing we all have going for us is most people actually listen to streams versus looking at them. So, you know, it's certainly whatever you're most comfortable with. So if you are totally comfortable, you know, using just a microphone, that's also okay. Just know that what I would recommend is definitely push that engagement as hard as you can. Because I think people subconsciously don't, you know, I think they have a harder time without a webcam seeing the streamer.
Breakfast, study a bit more, then do the fucking test.
So your overlay, pretty clean. There's really just a goal here. Worst game on stream?
I gotta. But I really don't wanna. You got this. I know I got it, but I don't wanna. Is that helping? Is being a petulant child helping?
I would turn up the volume on your mic a little bit on your overall stream. Seems a little low to me. Like I'm maxed out on the window here. So no talking. No talking.
The game Phasmophobia? I do.
There we go.
I just haven't played it yet.
I get it, you're getting settled here, so you know, you're getting started. But yeah, there's not a lot going on here. Think of it this way. If someone were to click on your stream and they got to this point and they started watching.
Oh, baby Kale is playing it.
And like you have some dead air and there's really not a lot going on. Some people might click away at that point. All right. I'm gonna leap forward a little.
Tig, welcome to the channel.
Oh, good. Hold on.
As one of them is being kind of a toxic douchebag, but oh well. Next game. Yeah, no, I agree. It's very hard to be social during times where, you know, it's kind of impossible to be social. Well, I'd say impossible. Like I said before, like, you basically have to look at your friend and ask them, like, are you being safe? Are you being, like, actually responsible during times where if certain people get sick, they will die? Hey, Tig. Welcome to the channel.
Okay, so yeah, you're welcoming people to the channel. I just noticed that you have chat right here.
I just played you. Yeah, I didn't do well that game. I forget who it was. I think it was the Ace? I forget. But one of them was really fucking great at chases, so they put... Oh, it was Bearded Jesus. That was the one. He was really, really phenomenal in his chases. He outplayed me. I lost fair and square.
Cool.
Can't exactly be mad at
chatting with chat. That's good. We're gonna skip forward a little bit and keep kind of scrubbing through this a little. I hear your keyboard. Oh, I hear you mashing on the keys. I can hear the keys. So when it comes to the keyboard, I mean, it's not incredibly distracting. I imagine if you were talking over it, people wouldn't notice it. But if you are worried about, you know, it being too loud or being very noticeable, you could set filters. If you're in OBS or Streamlabs OBS, you could set filters on your audio source, your mic, and you can add some very light noise suppression that can get rid of that, or at least dull it enough where it probably wouldn't be noticed over your talking or the game. I'd recommend turning up the game slightly, and then of course your mic along with it, so the overall mix is louder. But I would consider doing some kind of noise suppression on the keyboard, for the keyboard rather, because I can hear, especially when you're mashing it, I can hear it. Again, not a lot of commentary, not a lot of narration of what you're doing.
Okay, then I'm gonna hook you.
There you go. There's some. That's good.
Hatch, buddy.
Yeah. The more I hear, the more I would like. The more I would like some noise suppression on the microphone, just so you don't hear the mashing of the keyboard if you can. It's very hard. I know this. A lot of us have gaming keyboards or just nice mechanical keyboards because we're on them a lot and we want to type a lot or game. And so this is the byproduct of that, is a very clicky, loud keyboard. Or get a quieter keyboard, as Post-Apocalypse would say.
Sorry about the rage quitter. Good luck.
We're gonna throw that up on the screen just because it's, you know, or just get a quieter keyboard. Yeah. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, you can set various effects and filters to your audio sources in Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio. And usually, depending on your setup, if you don't have a very advanced setup, like you're just dealing with a normal, you know, USB mic, I generally recommend setting some kind of noise gate, which will allow you to, you know, only have the mic pick you up when you start making a certain level of noise when you start talking. A compressor, which will kind of help you avoid peaking the mic. You'll want to set the gates on it such that, you know, if you get too loud, it kind of brings it down and doesn't really hurt people's ears. I would use that lightly. And then noise suppression, and this is particularly in this case, noise suppression will help with the background noise, whether it's a keyboard and keys being pressed, or a fan or something kind of in the room making some very light background noise. Noise suppression can help with that and clean it up a little bit. And generally speaking, and this kind of goes along with some of the other stuff I was saying about the webcam, most people actually, you know, leave streams up in the background and they're listening to the stream, right? So like if you close your eyes and you listen to this, tell me what you notice the most. Just close your eyes for like a little bit and listen to the stream. So yeah, clicks punctuated with some silence. And so I can't stress enough that audio is actually, I think, for a lot of people who don't spend enough time in streams or streaming, it's not always known, but pretty obvious to those who have done it long enough. Audio is actually really important. People think, you know, oh, I need this really cool overlay and I need a really cool, you know, awesome webcam and, you know, really, really cool looking graphics and alerts. Those are all nice. Those are all nice to have. And I do recommend those when you're able to get them. But I would prefer, and most people prefer, clean audio. Yes, Benny's correct. Audio's not just a product you can buy. It takes a lot of effort to get it right, and even with good equipment and good gear, can still suck if you don't know how to dial it in. And honestly speaking, most people listen to streams in the background. Like I said, people will turn it on and then they'll either minimize the window or pull up something that they're doing, right? Or they'll walk away from the computer and leave the speakers on so they can listen while they're doing other things or putting on their headphones. Audio for a lot is a non, you know, like they don't think about it enough. It's a no-go for some viewers if the audio sucks. Now, your audio, like your mic is fine. I can hear you when you talk, but it's the keyboard that's distracting. So, noise suppression, and if you need help with noise suppression, let me know. We can do a quick noise suppression, like, workshop on that. In mic settings. But yeah, you do want, you'll want to talk more. We're not hearing a lot of talking now.
You played phenomenally well. I'm going to give you a hatch.
Yeah, you usually have it on the second screen and listen while you work on other stuff. Yeah, Umbra, me too. I work from home all day, and I have Twitch streams up in the background. So while I work, keyboard behind your mic works super well if you got a nicer cardioid mic. Yeah, agreed.
GG.
You don't know how to set. Okay, no worries. We could work through some basic settings on that. Okay, I'm just gonna leap forward a little longer, little more.
This is risky, my dude.
I like Umbra's suggestion here. Keeping the mic close to your face makes it easier to up the volume of your own voice and dial down background noise. Yes, and that is certainly the way to set. That's usually the way to set it up. Most people, you don't want your mic all the way out. You don't want your mic all the way out, and then, you know, having to turn up the gain or anything like that. You want the mic a reasonable distance away from your face. But when I say reasonable, I mean like you don't need to be like licking it. But it needs to be within an inch or like a couple inches of your face. And that affords you the ability to turn down the gain and actually make it harder for background noise. Now we're talking about your keyboard. Yeah, not ASMR close. Now we are talking about your keyboard, so that's always the hardest thing for a lot of streamers, because keyboards can get picked up because it's in such close proximity to you because you're typing on it. I imagine you're using like a USB mic probably, or is it a headset? But either way, the closer the mic is to your mouth, the less gain you need to use, meaning the less stuff in the background will get picked up. You're using a Blue Yeti. Oh yeah, Blue Yetis pick up everything. Man, they pick up everything. I've been there. It does deteriorate the audio quality. Thank you, Cool Eagle.
played really well.
Yeah, make sure it's set on cardioid. There's a little dial on the back.
We're very effective with their flashlights.
There's a little dial on the back. I was gonna say, I have a blue Yeti somewhere in this room.
Good luck next game. Smiley face.
I'm trying to remember where I put it. There's a little cardioid dial. Or there's a little dial where there's different settings where you can essentially direct it.
All right, time for the Stream Raiders battle.
I don't know. I have an old Yeti in here somewhere. I can't even remember where I put it. All right. I keep it around as a backup mic in case something ever happens. All right.
I don't know if we're gonna do this.
We got Stream Raiders.
Was gonna be breaking pallets or walls or gens, so I'm gonna need that extra boost.
She might spawn upstairs on that.
All right. More of the same.
Okay, you can point at me. I have no idea where this hatch is. Hey,
I'm going to skip to the end to see how you close it down.
all right. There we go. Open. Two boards. All right, y'all. That's gonna be it today. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Okay. So closing was a bit short. I'm glad that you did it. Some people just cut it there without saying a whole lot. They're like, bye, gotta go.
Venturing manuscript.
What I would say is, you know, your typical closing shouldn't take too long, but certainly consider doing something like, hey guys, thanks for watching. You know, it was fun streaming Dead by Daylight with you. I'll be back tomorrow at this time, 9 p.m. Pacific, right? And then certainly if you're looking at reach, because you said talking about reach, what I would consider, which takes a little more work at the end, is doing some raiding. And the purpose of raiding, as you probably know, is to, you know, introduce communities to one another. And this will actually help you make friends in the Dead by Daylight community. Or you could just raid friends that you really like to watch, right? Other streamers that you like to watch, streamers that you already have relationships with too. So yeah, highly recommend. And then what you'll want to do is you'll do your closing and then you say, hey, I'm going to raid so-and-so. You know, have a raid message of some kind ready. It doesn't have to be, you set your mic to cardioid. Nice. Excellent. That's a good step. That might help a lot right there. But then, you know, set up a raid. And that gets you, that gets your viewers in front of other streamers and friends. So you're essentially reaching out, you're connecting to other communities. And then because you're connecting to those communities, they may consider checking you out as well. I think really the whole point and purpose and the intent behind raiding on Twitch should really be a genuine, how can I build a connection with another creator? And the byproduct of that, of course, is maybe making good relationships with other creators, people that you enjoy watching, that you can learn from and or teach. And then another byproduct of that is, of course, potentially, never expect it, but potentially, you know, more people to stop by, more eyes on the stream. Rating can be difficult to do right because you can turn off some of your own viewers by rating someone whose content is severely destroyed. Yes, you do need to do you need to vet it pretty well. I tend to default to friends and people that I know that I'd be totally cool putting in front of my stream. What I would recommend, if you don't like, with the intent to find new people to stream, what you can do for the next couple streams is certainly raid people you're comfortable with, or if not, you can end it and that's okay too. But after your stream, maybe take 10 minutes and just look around the category in Dead by Daylight and see if there are people that you enjoy by browsing, and just kind of take note of people who you could raid. I would vet it first. Umbra makes a really good point there. It does take a little work. If we're talking about making those connections and, you know, seeing other people and getting more viewers, rating can help to a degree, but always do it with the intent not to get more viewers, but with the intent to get, you know, to know the community of, in this case, Dead by Daylight, since that's actually the game you play a lot of. So give people a chance to maybe tab back in, say see you later. It's the most likely time for me to speak up when you're lurking. Yeah, Post-Apocalypse does that in mine all the time when I close it down. Oh yeah, Ren. Yeah. Per Umbra's recommendation, I would do, like, just do the work first, you know, do the work, like identify people in the future you would like to raid. It doesn't have to be an urgent thing that you do now, but what I would consider is looking for people that you totally think are great, right? So even if it's taking 10 minutes after a stream and after you're offline, after you've shut down the stream, browsing the category that you stream in the most and being like, okay, maybe I can find people that would be a good raid. It'd be a good fit for my community, because it's also really nice. Your community will appreciate it too by sharing, you know, more creators that they can have access to in the same category. So that's all I've got. I would say summary is focus on your dead air. Start with maybe narrating more what you're doing or giving commentary to your game or actions in game or thoughts of the game that's happening in front of you. Do some tweaks to the microphone so you don't pick up all the keyboards. I would also, you know, like, your panels looked fine. The art looks good. It's consistent. You're on a consistent schedule, which is excellent. But yeah, those are the big things. Those are the big things. Finding ways to engage people in your chat, and maybe possibly finding ways to reach out to other people in the category, or just, you know, other friends that you have on Twitch. Your ending was a little short, and you'll just want to make sure you you know, do a quick rundown at the end, just to give people an opportunity to say goodbye or good night, or to have, you know, that kind of quick, like, ending. But I think that's all I got. Do you have any questions? Cool. I'm going to do some quick shout outs really quick. Burnt Toast Jay, and rencamo. I want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to offer some feedback on their streams. I know it's not always easy to hear about all the things that you need to maybe work on, but hopefully you took away a lot of the good things, right? You guys did some wonderful things in your own streams. You guys are, you know, you're doing good. Streaming definitely takes a lot of work, and it looks like you're both putting all the work in. You guys are streaming regularly. You want to improve, and that's fantastic.